75 years ago, July 1st. If any of you have ever been to Gettysburg, Willowberry Run, the first day of the Battle of Gettysburg, the 19th Indiana. I had a cousin who was standing next to the color guard. And as the battle raged, the national colors was going down, so a cousin of mine and 3 other guys surrounded the color bearer. My cousin took a bullet to the head. So this uniform that I am wearing today was part of the Iron Brigade, 24th Michigan and the 19th Indiana. We're fortunate enough to have a 24th Michigan representative over there by the name of Mark Chase. Mark Chase was wounded at Gettysburg. He was wounded in the wilderness. So what we're going to do today is kind of, again, just tell a little bit about some of the guys that are here. We're going to tell a little bit of the story on why we dress up like we do. I'm very fortunate and honored to say that I have 66 family members of mine who fought in the Civil War. I think that the Boer family would have been a little bit bigger if it hadn't been for the Civil War. But unfortunately, this is how things work. Again, this hat that I represent was the national hat that the Army wore in 1850s. General Gibbon, when he took command of the Iron Brigade, he wanted a distinct unit. So the reason that they wore this hat was that when the rebel army saw this hat, they knew trouble was coming. This is the common forage cap that most infantrymen wore during the Civil War, but he wanted to be distinct. So again, when the enemy saw this, it was like, you better look out. You better look out. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ethan. He's going to tell a little bit about who he represents.
Most of you remember me. I used to work at the chemical bank here in town, but today I'm representing some family of mine that actually lived in Texas. I am representing the chaplain Travis, who was part of the 4th Texas Infantry, Company E, mustered out of what you would know today as Waco, Texas. It was literally after Sunday church, the entire town got together and every man wore the frock coat that you see me wearing today. They marched from Waco, Texas, all the way over to Western Virginia. That's a long walk. There are no rail lines at that time that would be able to take you most of the way, and there are no real distinct rivers to take you that far. So a lot of the times when folks think of uniforms, they think of the shorter shell jackets. That's because what is called the skirt in the bottom, by the time you walk from Waco, Texas to there, is ripped to shreds, and you're just going to rip it the rest of the way off. A lot of people ask me, why do I represent this gray color? It's not a very popular color in today's society. And one of the reasons why I choose to do that is my family fought on both sides of the conflict. My immediate family, I had 2 would have been great uncles that fought with the Indiana Artillery. I also had several uncles who fought with the Kentucky Cavalry. Being that I had family on both sides of it, when I was thinking about doing this in order to honor my family members, I see that there are a lot of folks that are out there and willing to tell the story of the good guys. They're willing to wear the blue. I want to try and be able to give a fair representation of the other side of the conflict, and so that way we can get a bigger picture of why everything was going on. A lot of folks try to simplify the Civil War into a good versus bad, and it's really not. It's a terrible event in our history where brothers and we're literally fighting against each other, and the worst fear that a soldier could have was seeing a family member across the field in their sights. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Chad.
You say that one thing that happened in our family, you talk about brother fighting brother. In the Battle of Chickamauga, 125th Ohio, Updike's Tigers, I had a relative who was with the 125th Ohio, and across the fence from him was his first cousin. The cousin's units came head to head. My cousin was actually wounded in the chest. He was captured by the rebel army, was sent to a hospital, and he died. So when you say brother against brother, we all had that. Before we get into some of the stuff here, I do have a special guest here with me too. Chris, you want to come forward here? We'll have him just real quick, like, tell his story here for who he represents.
I'm here to represent.
Oh,
He's holding all of our displays here. Yes.
I'm a part of the Evart Civil War Roundtable. Any of you guys interested? I started.
He started it.
So,
right. Yeah. We meet about once every couple months or.
Yeah. When I'm not in college.
Your name is
Andrew Boer.
Actually, we'll do this. He represents his uncle that was killed in Charleston, West Virginia. He was shot at the Battle of Cotton Hill. He enlisted. His parents had passed away. My uncle was part of a guerrilla group, and he took a bullet to the chest. He was put on a riverboat. I have a copy of the surgeon's report. The surgeon put him on the boat and said, "Hope you live." He passed away at 24. I spent about 10 years. I went to Washington, D.C., spent some time in the archive. He's buried in an unknown grave in a military field hospital. About 4 years ago, I was able to finally locate him, and I'm currently fighting, is the word I'm going to use, with the VA. I've been denied twice trying to get him a tombstone, so we're in a pretty good fight with them right now, but we're trying to honor him. Yeah, so we're working on that. So today he's his uncle that was killed.
So I'm representing an Evart native, Marvin Rausch. Okay, World War II vet, 9th Division, 60th Infantry Regiment, known as Hitler's nemesis. Okay, Marvin he invaded North Africa, French Morocco, wounded the 18th of August, 42, in the Battle of Massey. Okay, healed up. Then he went into Sicily and invaded Sicily, so he has 2 invasions. After Sicily was kind of mopped up, they took the 9th Division, put him into England for the jump over into Normandy. Okay, the 29th Division, 15th Infantry Regiment was one of the first to invade and land on the beaches in Normandy. His brother Dean was part of the 115th Infantry Regiment, but did not invade on one of the initial days. He landed D-Day +4, which would make that June 10th. He later was killed in the Battle of Percy, France on 30 July 44. So this family has Purple Heart and a KAA. After his brother's death on 30 July, he had enough points, being the last surviving son, 2 invasions, and he had a Purple Heart right through here. He went into England, and then they later flew him back, or put him on a boat into Arlington, Virginia, where he finished his military duty as part